Okay, there are Easter eggs in the Minecraft Live 2023 video. I'm gonna tell you what that impacts for 1.21, and I'm gonna give a prediction for what Minecraft Live 2024 might look like next year, given details from this video. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so how I'm gonna analyze this, I'm just gonna stop at points that I find as important and we'll scroll back through them, okay? So I'll go ahead and get started and I'll see y'all in just a second. Okay, so this bit is on some stuff that developers are working on behind the scenes, and I'll let Agnes say it.
Well, we're actually doing quite many things. So for example, we have some amazing developers working on tools for us to make our development process more efficient and more joyful.
This is the big secret for 1.21, is that most of this update is actually from way before right now. And a big portion of it is updating the game so that it's easy for them to do development. I can go ahead and tell y'all as a mod dev, they have been doing a lot of behind the scenes code changes. And a lot of them make sense to make things a lot easier for them to be doing. The game has a lot of what's called technical debt, which is basically someone made something in a quick and dirty way that's super simple, like a mod dev does. And what happens with that is it makes things harder to update in the future for normal developers. It's fine if you have one expert like Jeb or King B Dogs, but it does make things harder for everyone else. So since Mojang has gotten really big, they can't keep going with this technical debt. They are actively trying to make it super easy for them to do updates. And I think that that has a big piece into what 1.22 and Minecraft Live 2024 is going to have for us, in that they will have probably made it to where they can easily add a large number of features. And one of the things relates to the trial chambers, the jigsaw block. Now you'll notice it received a number of updates in 1.19, and I think that one of the things they've been doing is the update 1 or 2 before, they are already saying the framework for the next major update. 3D biome building, which was necessary for the Nether update, was actually done in the Busy Bee update just beforehand. And I think we're going to see the same type of pattern continue to emerge. They're going to build the architecture to make important updates and then release that infrastructure, make sure it works well, and then finally release it in an actual update. And I can definitely say they are gearing up for something huge, especially with these jigsaw blocks and with other features like mob loading, like adding new things like dirt blocks or tags. A lot of things have had tags added to them, which is something that in the modding community has been a norm, is using a bunch of tags, which allows for more interactive features between mods. Okay, and this next bit is basically on them wanting to improve the existing features. So we'll go ahead and go forward with that.
So you'll revisit some older features. Yes, so we want to have like a good balance between adding new things and also going back and improving existing things. That's such a good idea.
So yeah, they're doing that. And I will note that when I'm doing this analysis, I've already watched a number of analysis videos. So if you are late to the game and you wanted to review, this is where I can kind of come in and help y'all out. Well, it definitely seems that Mojang is actively trying on working on their development experience and making things very smooth. In the future, will this mean that we will see large feature sets and large updates again? I'm not sure, but we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Features that are combined of lots of different rooms. They are procedurally generated.
And that right there is where I say the jigsaw block is super important for this next update. The jigsaw block is effectively what some call a wave function collapse algorithm, which is basically a way of making super realistic, very integrated, almost tileable, procedurally generated terrain, worlds, and so on using a set of pre-built assets. And the trial chambers definitely hint at them fixing up the jigsaw block to make it more usable. Even in the first snapshot, which was just released this last week, that feature has been upgraded. Again, the harping on for this update is Mojang is finalizing the refactor of the Minecraft code and relieving all the technical debt that I think a lot of y'all aren't as aware of, which is probably important for y'all to know, is that the game has a ton of technical debt. And I want to keep that as an important piece. again, in the prediction for what Minecraft Live 2024 is going to be like, I think it's going to be interesting. And we have the copper bulb here. There isn't a whole lot here other than the fact that this will be the first block that emits the light level 8. Apparently we don't have anything with that custom light level. It will fade over time as it weathers. I'm thinking you'll probably be able to wax it. And it does sound like it will work like a T flip-flop. Nothing much here, but I will advocate Nimbomb was recently hired 1 year ago. And I think that he is now showing up in these updates actively as kind of a idea generator. And mind you, the crafter is literally a copy of his dropper crafter from a couple years back. Mind you, his used different systems a little bit, but was very close to this implementation. And I think things like the copper bulb and stuff, he is trying to come in and advocate for the redstone community, which obviously I'm a part of, and probably some of you are, is the more technical side, in saying, hey, these are things that would make our lives easier, make more interesting contraptions, and make things more fun. And here's how we could wrap it up in a way that's also good for builders or for regular players, for adventurers, because they want to make features that intersect in the user space, not just for one archetype of player. And I think that that's going to be important moving forward, is making more features that intersect in utility. Inside the trial chambers, there's also the special spawner, which will be used for farms because it has a weird mechanic in which more players produce more mobs and the difficulty is locked in. So you could see some kind of farming system where you are automatically destroying those waves. We'll have to wait to see that in a snapshot, of course. And then this is that special spawner and the Breeze, which is a new mob. I think it's going to have some interesting utility in redstone farms because it's a way to remotely trigger things like levers and buttons without necessarily a player being present if it can aggro on something other than a player. And that's the Breeze. I think that one's going to be an interesting mob, and again, a direction that they're heading for possibly hostile mobs of adding more elementals and more micro bosses. And I would love to see, for the next update, a major boss. Again, we're talking about specifically what is Minecraft Live 2024 going to look like based on 2023. And we're building up that evidence profile right now. And really after this, they just discuss these features again and then go through the mob vote. So what is my analysis of all this? And why do I think that the jigsaw block and the way they've been doing updates is super important? So first theory is that 1.21 started in 1.18. So 1.17 was Caves and Cliffs Part 1. And 1.18 is going to be when they started realizing we have too much technical debt. We can't make these updates fast enough. And yeah, that's when they started really flubbing up really bad for the player base, is Caves and Cliffs Part 1. And then obviously in Part 2, things kind of got better, but not by much. And now we're in 1.20, and players really don't trust Mojang to do updates well. That is a huge problem for them. And I think that that's why they've been so conservative. And this is my theory for Minecraft Live 2024. We will see the era of massive updates with huge ambition come back. Now, I will add the cautionary part, though. A lot of the, one major issue I've been seeing from other YouTubers like Boxtocat, Exuma, and stuff is that apparently they have been bringing YouTubers into private groups to talk about things and then saying, well, you can't talk about this, don't talk about it, but we want to make sure with you if this sounds good based on what your understanding of our community. I think that the pinnacle of how you should treat YouTubers as your advertising liaisons is Paradox Games with Cities Skylines 2. Instead of saying, well, we know that you know our community, and this is what we want to communicate with them. They say, hey, we know that your job is basically to communicate with our community. If you fail at doing that, you lose your job basically as a YouTuber. So we want to kind of get your knowledge on this, as well as have you go out and seek information for us on your own to then bring back to us, using these YouTubers as the voice of Minecraft. And I think that that would really help them. One of the issues I saw in Minecraft Live 2023 is that, honestly, the tone never met the action. It didn't feel like real people were playing it. And I do think that to some degree, they should bring in YouTubers, have them experience these temporary updates after they've played with them for a long while, and hype players up, and hire 1 or 2 YouTubers every year to kind of be the update champions. Maybe even go to 5 or 10. They have enough people that theoretically sponsoring videos for them to advocate for the update before the community and help them push it forward and get feedback and update is really beneficial, and I think will pull a lot of heat off of the developers who, mind you, are not trained on community interaction, which is super massive. I think the only one that really knows how to communicate with the community is probably Sliced Lime, and he does update videos every week with the snapshots. And I think that that gives him an edge that he needs to be a little bit more important on these Minecraft Lives as well. So, without further ado, this is Dave Light signing out, and God bless y'all. Leave your comments down below. I would like to hear your opinion, and pop in my Discord sometime so we could chat a little bit more.